Hi, I'm Greg. I am one of the dialogue editors working on Zordon of Eltar, and in this video we're going to go through some of the processes and techniques that I used to achieve or get the King Mondo voice. So getting to the processing stage on a film like this, initially it was quite difficult to work on because all of the lines had already been recorded or animated so you were working to a fixed medium. And that was quite difficult at first. You know, Alpha, Zordon and, Saba all have a very distinct type of voice acting, from very fluidic to very robotic. So when you create a voice for that, you're stuck with what you can see on screen. So Cisco would send me some of the briefs with like a few tutorials and a few kind of ideas that he liked. And then he would kind of steer me towards an overall feel.
Puny Rangers! You'll regret the day you ever crossed my path!
Like we don't already!
And when I was growing up, I always remember this big, kind of camp, flamboyant, slightly Scottish, lisping villain. And I was really worried when Cisco said that he wanted to recreate King Mondo, because the art style that Cisco's created in his universe didn't really fit the original kind of campy character of King Mondo.
I wanted that gold Ranger power! You will pay dearly for denying it to me!
So then came the difficult task of creating something big, something menacing. When I first saw the King Mondo picture, the concept art, it's this huge clunking robot, and it's pretty intimidating. So Cisco actually suggested Sovereign from the Mass Effect series. It was a big ship, looking back at it, because I love those games. Sovereign was a huge evil robot who was very human. He didn't sound like a Cyberman or a Cylon. It was very kind of, you could have full conversations with it, and it was very scary.
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh, you touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding.
So Cisco actually suggested a few kind of tutorials before he sent the VO over to kind of get my head around it, and there's quite a lot of good ones out there. So I kind of already had a start or an idea for how I was going to flesh him out. When Cisco sent me the MP3 file, I didn't actually know it was David J. Fielding, the voice of Zordon from the original Power Rangers series, and it was so exciting. He's such a good voice actor, obviously. His lines and dialogue was very well paced. It was very well acted, and even though there was emotion in it, it was very flat, but in a good way.
I hope you were not expecting your mechanical toys to assist you, Zordon of Eltar.
So with David's VO, I did try the original kind of tutorial that Cisco linked me, but the end result was very mushy. It lacked a lot of low-end punch. It had the kind of harmonic content, like it kind of sounded like a robot, but it didn't match the delivery, and when you watch it back with the character, it just didn't work.
I hope you were not expecting your mechanical toys to assist you, Zordon of Eltar.
When I discovered that didn't work, I tried doubling his voice, changing the pitch quite extremely on one of them, and adding a granular filter, which kind of stutters his voice a little bit, gives it a grainy character. And then you add chorus and ensemble and flange, and you start to get this kind of layered, thick voice that sounds really, really intimidating. And then when you add the original line back in over it and blend the two together, you get a really humanistic delivery. So you retain the kind of acting from Fielding, but then you still get this the deepness and the punchiness that kind of goes back to what Cisco wanted, kind of sounding it like Sovereign. or having a character that sounded a little bit like Sovereign from the Mass Effect series.
I hope you were not expecting your mechanical toys to assist you, Zordon of Eltar.
So for every character that I worked on with Zordon of Eltar, we went through a lot of processing. Messing around, sending briefs back and forth. And the process of creating a voice for a new character is very difficult, because once you've cleaned everything up, you've made the original vocals sound nice, you then got to look at the character on screen, where they are, who they're talking to, are they in a spaceship, are they in a big open space, and you need to consider that sound. And it is quite challenging, but a lot of the creative process is just messing around in programs like Logic or Pro Tools and just seeing what works. Using reverb with a really short delay time and EQ'd so it brings up the low end. I kind of blended the two tracks together using that and a little bit of a delay, and that helped fatten it up a little bit more, and then you could hide the original kind of dry line in there. Like, it's still audible, it's still there, but then you get this really fat kind of intimidating robot sound, and that was pretty much all I did to it, really.
I hope you were not expecting your mechanical toys to assist you, Zordon of Eltar.